Spicy, yeah, spicy, yeah, muy caliente. Your body look excellent, cold like a little iced tea, yeah. My pretty little iced tea, yeah. You got to ask nicely, yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Nicole Tries to Cook. I want to thank everybody who sent me encouraging messages on Facebook, who liked my Facebook posts, who had fun with me during our live cooking session with my husband Diego, and to Drina especially for sending me a beautiful card with encouraging words telling me to keep doing what I love. So thank you so much for that. I learned this past year that life is way too short not to do the things that make you happy, not to tell the people that you love them. You know that I started posting these videos when we had the lockdown in LA as a way to explore my creative outlet, to teach myself how to cook, because I am a disaster in the kitchen, hence the name Nicole Tries to Cook, and also to stay connected to my friends and family. I put out about 3 or 4 videos and a live video with my husband, as I mentioned before, and got some really bad news during the pandemic. On March 13th, 2020, my father, Dr. Keith Ivor Harry Palmutu, was diagnosed with ALS. That's why I'm wearing this t-shirt today in hopes to bring more awareness to ALS. As my father's disease state progressed rapidly, I had to put videos on hold and devoted myself to taking care of my father for 6 months. My family, my mother, my sisters and brother, and we all gathered around my father, and we were the sole providers of his medical care during that time. It was shuttling him to doctor's appointments at Cedars-Sinai through the ALS Foundation. It was feedings through feeding tubes, and it was managing his ventilation through a BiPAP machine to help him breathe. The immediate goal for me, as I said, is to bring more awareness to ALS. I'm going to place a link in the description of this video that you guys can access, and hoping that with some of your donations that we can continue to contribute to the ALS Association to help fund research. Just recently, researchers at Northwestern University were able to find the compound that contributes to the degeneration of the nervous system in ALS patients in the upper motor neuron system. It's a big contributor to ALS, the disease state of ALS. Many people are familiar with the ice bucket challenge. I was one of those people who would watch the videos that were circulating around social media a couple years back. I knew it was for ALS, but I didn't understand then exactly what ALS was about and how it impacted patients so negatively, and the family members who care for them. So ALS is a terminal illness. It attacks the nerves in your body, and those nerves die off, and then they aren't able to properly communicate with the brain. When that happens, the muscles begin to atrophy, you lose strength, you lose the ability to walk, to use your hands, to speak, and eventually the muscles that help you breathe and swallow. My father went through all of those effects of ALS. He only lasted 6 months, but while you're in it, 6 months seems like an eternity of torture. There are no known cures for ALS, and like I said, they just recently found the actual compound that contributes to the degeneration of the nervous system. So that's a first step in creating a treatment. There are 2 treatments for ALS that are prescribed drugs to treat ALS, but neither one of them are that effective. In fact, one of the comments from the physician was, you can take it or you don't have to take it. To me, it doesn't matter because I don't think they're effective. If you go on the ALS Association's Facebook page and you read the comments from family members and patients who are actually experiencing ALS, you'll see that it's very grim and bleak for them. There's very little positivity. There is a lot of prayers in hopes of a miracle to help bring treatments or a cure to ALS. So I think it's of great importance that I bring awareness, especially since my father, my beautiful, beautiful father, passed from ALS, to the ALS Association so that we can help contribute more. My other goal in the next few videos is to bring a bit of his Guyanese culture into your world. I grew up eating Guyanese food. I had the pleasure of visiting Guyana back when I was 18 years old. My sister, my brother, and I went with my dad to British Guyana, and we got to see where he grew up. And it's the most amazing place. It's like walking into National Geographic. It's a trip I'll never forget, and I hope I can visit again. So the first dish we're going to explore today is something really simple, and it's something that we had in our house, and that he added to every dish he ate, and that's pepper sauce, which is basically hot sauce, okay? But this is Guyanese pepper sauce. So traditionally you make Guyanese pepper sauce with a chili called riri pepper, okay? And they're these little tiny red peppers and they're very hot. So I don't have that readily available to my, in my grocery stores here in Los Angeles. We used to have a riri plant. It has completed its harvest, and it's probably time to plant a new one. So the next best option for me was either Scotch bonnet peppers, which I couldn't find, or very hot habanero peppers. Okay, so we've got about 2 cups of peppers, habanero pepper. If you have riri pepper, it's the same measurement, 2 cups. You want to take the stems off them a bit, but I think I should wear some gloves, because if you're anything like me, you touch your eyes a lot, and the last thing I want to do is touch my eyes after I've been handling habanero chili. Okay, so I'm taking all the stems off of my habanero chilies. They've already been washed. I want to make sure you wash them. So yeah, this was a staple that we had in our house. My dad always had his pepper sauce, and when he ran out, he would usually call up his sisters in New York to bring him more. If they didn't have it, then it was a search for some decent hot sauce. We have a bunch of hot sauce in our house, but the pepper sauce was used for a lot of other Guyanese dishes that he would create. Just recently, I made Guyanese cheese sandwiches, and one of the worries was that I didn't have the right hot sauce for the cheese sandwiches. So what you want is it's a vinegary, kind of tangy, pepper sauce, not just a lot of heat. It's got to have a lot of flavor to it as well. And it has a distinct flavor. Okay, so I'm going to chop these up a little bit because, like I said, my food processor isn't all that great. We're going to leave the seeds in there because that's what gives you the heat. So I'm going to dice up my habanero first. And then, oh my, wow, that's spicy. It's already making me cough. Okay, I'm not gonna breathe in right now. So let me step back for a second because I can't breathe. I'm just gonna chop up my chili in my little food processor, and then I'm probably gonna use a hand blender to do the rest because this is not big enough to complete my dish. Oh my God, that's spicy. So my dad would put this on everything. No matter what he was eating, he had to have his pepper sauce. He kept it in a jar on the counter. And every day he would go in with a fork and sprinkle it all over his food. And just a little bit goes a long way because it's super hot. So if you like spicy food, this is the recipe for you. We need a teaspoon of salt. And we need 3/4 cup white vinegar. So 3/4 cup. And then 1/4 cup of yellow mustard, just your regular cheap yellow mustard to this. I should mention that I got this recipe off of a Guyanese website, medmg.com. Althea Brown is the chef that posted this recipe. So I want to say, for those of you who are Guyanese, the Guyanese community, don't come after me if I didn't do this right, okay? I did my very best. I'm working with what I have, okay? Like I said, I've been eating Guyanese food since I was 5 years old. I've been to Guyana. This is what my dad ate. This is for my dad. This is in honor of my dad. So I know how protective you guys are of your culture, and you should be. I would be too. So I'm trying my best. And now we're gonna blend some more. So there you have it. Super simple, super spicy Guyanese pepper sauce. You could put it on everything, just like my dad did. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you make a contribution to the ALS Association. Like I said, I'll place a link in the description below. Every donation helps, no matter how small it is. All of that money goes to help fund research for ALS and finding treatments and hopefully a cure. Every donation I've ever received from any of my friends on Facebook, you don't know how happy it makes me to know that I can continue to fight against this horrible, horrible disease that causes so much trauma. It causes so much torture. We have to do something about it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for your words of encouragement. And I hope you guys go out and do the things that make you happy. And I'll see you next time. Get